This front door, kind of did a number on this thing, putting in these door locks, and the paint job on the front of the front door is pretty rough. It's pretty rough, like they got paint. Somebody got dirt all over this that can be washed off, but you got brush strokes and light paint everywhere. There's paint on this plastic part that probably should just not have been painted at all. They painted this. They painted the weather stripping. Brand new weather stripping. Paint all over it. It chips off. It's freaking made of vinyl. You're not supposed to paint it. You're supposed to pull it off the wall just like this. It comes out, and then you could paint the jamb, and put the weather stripping back in. There's no caulk on the trim, so you got bad caulk or paint lines there all around. Paint on the hinges, barely painted down there. This door doesn't latch and it rubs on the floor pretty significantly. You can see how the bathroom door does. Yep. That door is like touching pretty much, all the way along this it's touching. And we got this big gap there and small gap there. This is not painted well. There's no paint even here. No paint there. I'm looking in this back closet here. Back side of the doors aren't painted. This back side of this isn't painted. This shelf top isn't painted. Where's the bottom? Yeah, this thing has the same thing going on. No door handles. That one, they at least don't slide together. They look like they're okay angled wise, but they're not. This door, it bumps right here, and these were pre-hung doors, man. They should have been done well. You got a big gap there, it gets smaller there, and my guess is if we just run a screw through that hinge, it'll pull this thing back far enough to line that up a little bit and make some room for that to not rub. Got gray paint on the windows. I'm not sure why, but that should have been cleaned off. Our door rubs on the carpet. This door doesn't even latch, so that is taken care of. Same thing here. Weren't even nothing done with that. Same thing. Touching up there, not touching down there. These things are rubbing on the carpet. It's not painted at the bottom down here or in that area. Probably not. You can't even get it up over top of this thing at the bottom. These things are not. You can barely operate them well. So not painted, not painted, not painted on the back. These closet doors are, I don't really know what's going on with them, but they're not installed correctly. Like you can move them both at the same time by pulling on one of them. So something is not correct, and there's also no handles on them, right? And they don't, I mean, like this is hitting this piece of wood here, so you can't even close it. And then there's not, it should be at least going up to the base trim. And it's not even installed. Like you can see how this is not consistent here. It's like tilted up like this. And then there's a huge gap here and a small gap there. Closet shelf. Looks like they painted the front edge. Didn't paint the bottom. Didn't paint the top. Shoe molding in the bathroom's not painted. Where's the caps for the bolts on the toilet? I don't know why those are missing. Paint on the cover plates. I have no idea what that is. And there's actually a chip. Like somebody chipped this mirror. This, why is all that drywall missing? And this floor, like I get it, like we were reusing an old vanity, and it looks like this thing is kind of messed up, but we should have cut this better, made it look nicer, and probably just use something white and not this color, and it should be adhered down somehow. But that drywall, like that's just not, it's not acceptable. That, I mean, that's a huge hole in the drywall for that. That very easily, we could have pulled off the valve, drilled a hole in the drywall, replaced the valve with a nice clean one, could have put a new supply line on there and a new escutcheon, and then that hole would be covered. So that needs to be repaired also. These things also generally don't need caulked, but if you're gonna caulk them, you need to caulk them well. So that gap it just looks awful down there with the way that caulk is done. So that needs to be repaired. This is installed poorly. Like this got to be up in the drywall because that looks awful. The whole thing is damaged. There's like cuts in there and there. This is a big glob of caulk here. It looks terrible. And that right there, like looks awful. It's not a hole. It's a big slot in the thing, and the spout doesn't even go all the way back. Like that should have been. It should probably have been raised up some so that this could be raised up some and not be sitting right down on the bottom. It's just really a bad install. This thing here, they cut this thing too short, and so this, you know, it doesn't have anywhere to go. Like these pieces are falling out on this side because it's too short here, and this is now missing the pin that holds it in the track. So that needs to be, well, probably needs to be replaced at this point because, I mean, one, there's a tear there, but we gotta get a longer track and we gotta get a pin in that. This closet is really dirty, dusty. Oh, there's just dust and dirt everywhere. Top of that, all the way down in there. There's an outlet thing down here. I don't know if, looks like it just needs a cover. There's a piece of something there. And this is brand new, and the cover of that's missing. That, Larry's guys installed that, and that cover is missing off of the water heater. This also should probably have a left corner or counter side splash on it. There was also, should have been a piece of filler that came with these cabinets that should be screwed to that wall to take up that gap to make it look nicer. The window on this back door is busted. I I don't understand that one. It's all cleaned up, so my guess is your guys did it when they were here working, and they just cleaned it up and didn't say anything about it. So that's a problem. Big dent in the door. This door, exterior jamb, never got painted. The dishwasher, I know for sure was never tested, right? That thing's still hanging in there, bone dry. We missed a piece of shoe molding down here. This shoe molding back in this back room did not get painted. The undersides of these shelves did not get painted. They look pretty rough. This, I'm not sure why this was left here. This should have been, I mean, it's difficult to remove that because you got a hole in there, but you could put a 1/4 inch compression cap on there and eliminate this thing. Seems to me there's probably, the dishwasher probably doesn't work. E1, I can't get it to do anything. We're gonna have to try to figure out what's going on with it.